Good evening. Ira Epstein of Linn & Associates with your SPDR ETF wrap-up for this Wednesday, the 18th of November, 2020 at about 7 p.m. Central Time. You know, over the weekend I put out our weekly videos and I told you I was looking at the markets in the analogy of a glass half full versus half empty. And what I mean by that is the market's got now the Moderna, the Pfizer, BioNTech virus results. They're great. We don't have a vaccine. The FDA has to approve it. The market knows that. I also told you that now that that gets into the market, eventually what will come back to haunt the market are the daily headlines. You're now getting those. One of the headlines, New York City schools closed. In Chicago, everything's closing down in some manner. They're taking now, if you're a retail store that is still open, and there are plenty of them that have been open, 25% capacity now. If you're a drugstore or a food store, in other words, say grocery, 50% capacity maximum now. If you're a gym, 25% capacity. If you're a hair salon, you're closed. I can go on and on. If you have to take off your mask for anything in these salons, you're done, is how they're looking at it. And it's only getting worse because everybody's scared. They're talking of opening schools here in January, but it's easy to prep. It's also easy to pull those prep. I understand what they're doing. So you're going through that, and you have to be attuned to that. I want you to remember another key thing. Your SPDRs and your ETFs, especially the stock indices, you've got to watch the futures to know what these are doing. The futures don't look at these. These look at the futures because they're based on the futures. Do we understand that? The futures trade 23 hours a day. These trade 8. There's a big difference in this. There's massive trading in these, don't get me wrong. I'm impressed and I believe in them. But you also got to use the combination of the two together and balance them out, because you might get a signal in an ETF or a delayed signal in one when the futures have already reacted on their signal. That's my point. I have a favor to ask all of you, and one more announcement. If you like what I do here, click on you like it. If you don't like it, do so. Give me a negative on it. I like little comments. It helps me to make these better for you. I do these for you. I already know what I'm doing, so this is for you. I'm going to be holding my live webinar on Monday, and that is the 23rd of November at noon Chicago time. That's Central Time. The first people that were sent the invites were all my paid subscribers. Friday afternoon, I'll send it to the rest of the people. There is a fee if you're not a subscriber of mine to get in. If you are, it's free. Can I be any fair? They typically last an hour. I field all the questions you can imagine, and I try to answer them as best as I can. I'm also going to do another special report shortly. It might be on a currency. I haven't made up my mind. I got to it today, and then I didn't like it. I didn't start recording it, and I said, I think I need some other market. Okay, so now you know where I think we're at. When you take a look at XLK, what has the market done? We have filled the gap. There's one down here, but I don't know that you're going to fill that gap necessarily. I look at gaps to be filled on these markets in relation to moving averages. So I see that the market still has a pattern of higher lows and higher highs on the swing line. If you take my charting course, you'll see what a swing line is. And what a swing line does, like today's swing line, it looks to see as the prior day got a lower low, higher high, outside day up, outside day down, inside day. It has 5 variables, and then if you will, the indicator draws itself. The reason I built it is I don't want to be doing what so many people do. Gee, that looks to me like that cloud formation. Oh, that's a dog. I know that's the dog. Oh, wait a minute, that's the inverted head and shoulder. I don't want to do all those. I like the simplicity of this because it tells me if I buy, my risk is to 119.95. That would break the pattern. That's all I care about. I then filter it with moving averages. Why? It's one of the most popular features that people use. So the ones I use might differ from the one you do. I use the 18, the 100, and the 200. Some people will say, I don't want to use the 18. I get it. Use whatever you want. That's what I use, and I have reasons, and I teach it in my charting course. I then also plot in the market Bollinger Bands. Why? Because this algorithm is one built that 95% of the time the market will trade within it. Could I make it 100%? I easily could, but then it would never hit the bands. I want to hit the bands. Why? Because I want a zone that I get to where I know the high probability is if I've been short to take some money off the table, the market's not going to stay under that band but 5% of the time, or to the upside, same thing. I'll let you search for the moon. I'm very happy getting the first, second, and third base. If you get a home run, it's nothing like wonderful. Next thing I look at in the market is, are we overbought or oversold? So there's a set of filters. Another filter I use that I don't talk about here is money management. And then another one, are we going in the major government reports? That's it. So I've given you all the secrets right there. Now how you use them, there's a lot more to it than what I just said in 30 seconds. But you're overbought in an uptrend. Do traders buy overbought conditions? Typically not. So that'll have them hold back. Is there a reason to be short? No, not in the way I teach it. When you're over the 18-day average, your bias is up. That means other than getting out of long positions, you're not going short, with one exception. And when that shows every now and then, I'll show it to you. One exception. The next trade I'm looking at is SMH, and guess what? The uptrend ended today. This is how you looked coming in. You had a pattern of higher lows. You had right through here, this high was 202.31. This high was 202.89. So we had a pattern of developing higher lows and lower highs. The market then has an outside day down. Okay. On an outside day down, if the high of the outside day, which is today, is taken out the next day or the day after that, in the next two trading sessions, then I call that a bear trap, and I look for the market to make a run at the closest moving average above it or the Bollinger Band. There's also a stop that if I had you buy it on a stop, if I were your broker and talking to you, where would that be? I have one in there, and I talk about that in my subscriber video. I'm not going to give it to you here. The next thing that happens is I look to see, is the market doing anything here? No. So while the trend is down via the swing line, the bias is up. The two wash each other, and I'm left with an overbought market. When I come to the energy sector, I've been saying it. The first spot that this market had trouble with is the combination typically of getting to a Bollinger Band and be it a 100-day or a 200-day average is lethal in the sense that it's a lot of resistance. And the market got there, starts fighting. If it can clear it and you have another moving average above you, which one? There's the 200. So now I'm looking at the combination of the upper Bollinger Band, the dashed black line, and that gray one. There you go, you're right at it. And I know you're going to tell me it's going to the moon, and I agree with you, just not on my watch. That's typically an area where the market's got the pros taking money off the table. They're not bearish. You have an embedded reading in this market, but you're getting some profit taking. So will they come in on breaks? Most likely. What was resistance potentially becomes support. So the question is, can you stay embedded if you break back to the 33.89 level to give those traders a place to come in? I'll let you figure that out. I already know what I told my subscribers. In the QQQ, overbought. So I see an uptrend. I'm not blind. Higher lows, higher highs, but it's too overbought to attract, I think, new money into it. Doesn't mean I'm right. The emerging market, well, we had an outside day down in an embedded reading. So I'm not looking for that to be taken out in the next 2 days. So I think between there and falling into this range, that I look to see where could the market find support. Now, I don't show you all the moving averages. There is an entry moving average that I use in my videos that my subscribers see. That would be the zone that I look for support. So in between here, I'm looking for that. I don't think the bulls will bail unless the red line closes back under 80, and I think the market's looking at a support zone. In the gold market is a difficult vehicle right here. While the swing line is up, the importance of understanding where you're at in relation to the 18-day average is right here. The market has stayed under it, so the bias is down. Even if the market turns up, you've got this other layer of the 100-day average, but it hasn't. So you have an oversold market with the swing line up and the bias down. I don't know what to do with that. If you take out 177.91, my eyes will open and go, okay, maybe the market's ready to try the upside. That would get me going, but you haven't done that yet. In the gold miners, you know what I just said about the Bollinger Band 200-day average. Well, you're honing in on it. What do you think I think is going to happen if you get there? I'll tell you ahead of time the secret. Massive short covering. That's what I would think. No reason to be a buyer, although some traders, and I've mentioned that to you before the election, some traders will step in at a 200-day average and buy that market, especially on the first test of it in a long time, because you rarely just go through it and stay under it. You often just get a bounce no matter what. Sometimes it's a lucky bounce, and that was the one that you had, and the market doesn't look back. TLT, this market is responding now to the increase in the COVID. And if you're watching the Fed does have its speakers out every day. Chairman Powell was out the other day as well. We don't have a plan in place as a government, forget the Federal Reserve, as a government dealing properly, in his view and other Fed governors, to boost our economy. It can't just be the Fed. And the problem for the market is, while Ms. Pelosi called Mr. McConnell, let's talk. What are they going to talk about? She wants $2.4 trillion. He wants to give her $500 billion. They're not in the same universe. Let her make the proposals. I would say that the Senate is got no mind right now to meet her proposal. They could have gotten close and she accepted, I think, Steve Mnuchin's deal. She blew it, in my opinion. In FXE, you're looking at a market that is still looking good, but too overbought. You had this one run at the upper Bollinger Band. You had runs where you hit it back here, and it seems to be stalled. You'd have to get another wave to the upside in bed, and you're not trying to do it. You're just trying to stay overbought. I think I'll be patient and wait to see what the market brings to me. And that brings to me, again, my ETF spider video that I put out at 4 in the afternoon. I record it then. It comes out sometimes 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon after I render it and put everything together for you. But I'm going to cover each weekday what I'm seeing on the daily charts, and then every Saturday, included in the subscription, you get the longer-term weekly trends and charts. So be it on a desktop, a tablet, video. We give you an app for your phone. You can even watch my videos there, by the way. I'm going to cover all these markets and more. There are more. I keep adding them. As I said, from our government employees, I just added a whole slew of markets for them so that they can track what they need, because they're limited in how many times they can move in a given period of time and what markets they can put their money back and forth in. I want to cater to that a bit. $8.95 for the first 30 days. Now, what did I just tell you also? I just told you if you come to my webinar and you're through with your free access to it, it's going to be $7.95. I'm holding more than one of these a month going forward. So you get that, you save money right away. My special reports, free, all of them, included in that for you. Everything else that I'm doing, I think you'll find it worthwhile. Out of 7 days a week, 6 days you're getting videos from me. And they are not 5-minute videos. They cover all these markets. Even if you want a free trial, go to our website. Free trials. Take a look at it. If you've had a free trial, you're not getting another one. Give that a try for yourself. By the way, one favor to ask of all of you. If you like these videos, click on them again. Let me know that you like them. Changes, let me know. Put it out there for the world to see. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day.